what Staysure is doing that's different from what other companies are doing?
Yeah, well, it started right at the beginning where, we looked at the market and well, nobody really understood how long this would last for. And we thought it would make sense to, particularly with the annual multi trips, to give them 3 months free. So we had this sort of 15 for 12, and that convinced a number of people to take policies out with us and renew their policies, and we sort of led the market with that, and a number followed that. We also allow people to change their dates to pretty much any time in the future for the policy without any charges for changing. It's no admin fees and so on. So there was some simple changes. Then when with COVID and the COVID cover was pulled away, we have a sort of a win-win relationship with the underwriters, and we've been with them 7 or 8 years, and we are by far their largest distributor. And with the relationship, I said to him, we really do need to cover this. And, at that point between us, we agreed that. And once more, we led the market. And then now we find ourselves in this situation with quarantine. And given that many people are either stuck in a country and have to get back, and their insurance policies are either invalid or they've got costs because they're trying to get back and so on, or alternatively they're going to travel and the country could go into quarantine, at which point the insurance policy is not valid, or alternatively they want to go to a country for a necessity, or they still want to travel, as many people are, and no insurance company would cover them. And I just didn't think it was the right thing that customers should be left stranded like that when they need insurance. I mean, we know that a customer can have an insurance claim of hundreds of thousands of pounds for a medical. How are they going to deal with that? Being the market leader, it just felt that we should be leading this, and that's what we've done that's different, really.
But this is all so confusing for the average traveller. So,
Incredibly.
for example, if I were to go to Spain, I would be going against Foreign Office advice,
Exactly.
and therefore my travel insurance would be invalidated. Surely that's what I've always been told.
Absolutely, and I believe it is with everybody other than us. I don't know if anybody else has done this. I don't think they have. But what I basically said to the underwriters was, look, if people are travelling, they're travelling without the insurance. Is it actually a legal requirement in insurance or with insurance that they, for some reason, why they can't be covered, or is it just that the insurance company is following guidelines? And it's good to follow the FCO guidelines. If there's very good reasons for people not to travel because the FCO deem that it's not safe to travel, war zone areas, and for whatever reason, you'll know much more about this than me, Simon. But there are very good reasons. But in this environment, many people are travelling, and in fact, there is no legal precedent as to why they have to. It's just that insurance companies follow that guidance, and I work with the underwriters to basically work with us to create a policy that would allow people just for FCO advice. And this is actually so basically this is something that's going to help them for COVID. But if, for example, there was a volcanic eruption, it would be exactly the same. It would work in the same way. So it would give them repatriation and medical. And what it basically means is that the policy has all the normal benefits that you would have, or everything that's normal, until it becomes FCO, and then COVID is not included and so on. But you can still travel for everything other than COVID, i.e. everything other than what the FCO deemed to be the risk. And we've worked with this with the underwriters to price it and understand it. There are significant risks, because if, for example, you have a repatriation and a doctor has to come back, well, they're going to have to quarantine for a period of time. So, there are extra costs, but we've managed to do this at what we consider to be a very low cost, where we think, the average policy is going to probably be £5, £6, £7. It's not a lot of money for people that want to travel. And yes, so hopefully that's answered the question for you.
Right, so this is extraordinary. For the first time, a major, market-leading travel insurer is basically just saying, you want to travel against Foreign Office advice? Yeah, we understand, and we will cover you.
Yeah.
Apart from everything apart from the issue that the Foreign Office is worried about, which is coronavirus.
Yeah, and we have to understand this is at the moment it's for Europe, so we've got a Europe package. We are looking to extend that to other countries, but for the moment we've been able to roll out Europe. I think it's important to note that we're not, it's not that I'm sitting here saying, look, you should all travel. I think there are significant risks for consumers, and you have to think about what your risk is. I'm saying that if you've decided that you want or need to travel, I think that, there should be an insurance company that stands up to be able to stand by you.
Okay, I'm worried about the whole travel insurance sector because over the years you've got on with delivering, generally, in my experience, absolutely first class service towards travellers. But
Yeah.
now people aren't travelling. I mean, clearly, even if you just say 2020, forget it, that was just too awful for words. Once we start travelling again in numbers, it's not going to come back to anything like it was in 2019, isn't it? And that, for a big growing company like yours, must be a serious concern.
Well, I don't think like that, Simon. It's just not the way I operate in business. So, during this period, we've taken significant market share. We're down from where we were, but I think if you think different, when travellers want to travel and they come back, standing up as we are doing, the people that are travelling will remember this. So I believe that when it comes back, it's going to come back significantly. I mean, that with the likes of EasyJet closing various things, there are perhaps going to be some capacity issues, but there's still going to be a lot of people travelling. And as you know, after Brexit, it's highly likely there's going to be no e-hit cards, so that will have gone, and so people will definitely need medical. And I think there's more of an understanding that insurance, this is brought to the forefront, that insurance is more necessary. So whilst travel may go down, I think travel insurance is probably going to go up. That's just my perception. But if that doesn't happen, I'm an optimist, Simon. So if that doesn't happen, we'll just take market share because what we do, we're the best at it.
Can I ask a wider general question, Ryan?
Yeah.
You've been in this business for a while.
Yeah.
What do you really wish your excellent customers wouldn't do? Not for your sake, but for their sake.
What do I wish they wouldn't do? Wow. I suppose I think it's very, very important, and actually there has to be. With this answer I'm about to give you, there has to be some responsibility on our side as an insurer. But it's incredibly important when people are travelling with medical conditions that they really do declare them. That's, I would say, perhaps one of the most important things, because we've had cases where consumers don't put down the right medical conditions, and sometimes they can be confused, and sometimes they'll think that saving a few pounds by not saying the right thing with medical is the right thing. But when you have costs that could be hundreds of thousands, and then we're stuck in a very difficult position because the consumer doesn't understand why they're not covered, and it's because they've not really declared what they should have done. And I think that's the most important thing when you're buying any insurance policy, to make sure that you really do read the terms and conditions. But on our side, that's about making sure that we have really clear wording that people can understand, that's concise, and that in a call centre environment that we're very good at making people understand that. I wish we do, but I would say that's probably the one thing.